All being here, hope you're well. We've got a couple of cameras, so got mine going live here and a few other cameras. So we're here on behalf of TNPL and also Star Sports. So looking forward to answering your questions and having a lot of fun. If I'm looking over this direction, it's because there's different cameras, so bear with us. But yeah, look, it's been a terrific start to the TNPL. I've really enjoyed seeing the young talent that's been on show. It's a great opportunity for the young players to express their talent and showcase their talent on what is a terrific platform. So looking forward to seeing a lot of young critters go on, then hopefully to get onto the IPL as we saw last year, and also hopefully one day for India. Now I'm seeing a lot of likes going across the page, which is fantastic. So we'll try and get to your questions shortly. But yeah, we'll open up to the floor, I guess. I've got my helpers here behind the scenes, which you can't see.
So big warm welcome to you for this live video, obviously from all the fans again. Now you've been here for some time. How is Tamil Nadu treating you?
Well, Tamil Nadu's been a lot of fun. I'm trying to learn the local lingo. I should start by saying Wanakam Macha, Wanakam Machi. And Tumbi, I think, is brother. So all my brothers out there, great to be here. Look, it's a different culture, and I love it. It's a great opportunity for me coming out from Sydney to your beautiful country over here in India, and definitely down south. The weather's been fantastic. We've seen some pretty hot conditions, but it's been good, and I've really enjoyed the culture. I've been enjoying getting into the local food and trying the local sort of delicacies, which has been incredible, and looking forward to exploring a lot more.
Now, this is the second year of the TNPL.
So there's some questions coming through. Hi, sir. Please, sir makes me feel old, but Brett's good. How did I bowl the ball so fast? Well, look, to me, it was about training correctly and making sure I did all the hard work off the field. I wanted to make sure that when I was playing, I was training the hardest that I possibly could. I wanted to be the fittest in the team. So it's a lot of dedication and hard work and, I guess sort of sacrifices that you make to ensure that you can be the best that you can. So, yeah, or anyone that has the opportunity to train and enjoy doing what they're doing, that's obviously when it's the most fun. So we're getting some views from all around the world. Hello from India, hello from Pakistan, Ireland. Everyone's calling in, which is fantastic. Who's the Indian player that loves you the most when you come here? Well, hopefully them all, but I really enjoy interacting with Vivius Lakshman. He's a lot of fun. He's a terrific guy. A guy to me that, when I was playing against him, and I've been playing against Lakshman for 23 years. I started back in 94 playing against him, and he's a terrific guy. Now I work with him with Star Sports, which is cool. So he's a guy that I always catch up with when I had the opportunity to come over here in India. Great bowling, thank you very much. Do I still remember the pain that occurred whilst playing against India in the World Cup 2013 semi-final? Yeah, I do, and the pain was, I think, my left eye, which I went to field a ball, and the ball popped up. It might have been my right eye, I forget, but I'm not hurt. It's all good, and there's no issues.
So this is the second year of the TNPL. You've been here again. You were here last year. Now, how has the whole experience been this year compared to last year? And what are the improvements that you've seen?
Well, firstly, I think it's been the coverage. The coverage that we've seen go out. It's going out to hundreds of millions of people. But the people at the ground, there's a lot more spectators coming. The interest is now in the streets. And also the names. You think about the names that are on show. Natarajan, which, burst on the scene, TNPL 1. Now we went on to play, the big leagues in Indian Premier League. Washington Sundar, who is now playing IPL and doing, leading the wickets and leading the runs here in TNPL 2. So I've seen probably more so the players get more recognised and becoming the household names, but also the fan base. We've got, as I said, we've got a lot more people coming to watch the game.
You just spoke about Natarajan, Washington Sundar, who've gone on to make a name for themselves. Now, for youngsters who are wanting to emulate them, what would be your advice? How would you prepare yourself for a league like this so that you become and go on to achieve great things?
Yeah, look, you often get asked about training and how you become a professional athlete. And I touched on it a little bit before. But to me, it's having the right preparation. Making sure that you're doing, firstly, your gym work. A lot of people say, what's good in the gym? What gym work should I be doing? I follow the F45 gym setup. It's functional, 45 minutes of training. It's making sure that you're doing a lot of cardiovascular work, light weights, heaps of repetition. So what you don't want to be doing is getting into the gym and lifting a lot of heavy weights. That puts on bulk. It makes you potentially slower. Yes, you could be stronger, but as a fast bowler, you want to be whippy, strong through your core. You don't need big biceps to bowl quick. I keep saying that, but 45 minutes of cardiovascular training. As I said, I use F45. It's brilliant. But train hard. Your bowling fitness comes from bowling in the nets, and I think a lot of kids make the mistake where they just believe that they bowl 20 balls and walk out of the nets have done their job. I used to bowl for 2 hours, one or 2 hours on the go, and actually that was most days. So get your bowling fitness up to speed.
We've seen these players again move to IPL, and obviously the ultimate goal and the dream is to go on to play for the country. Now, do you reckon how much does this league help them in furthering that aim of playing at the highest level?
Well, what it does, because it's going out to, as I said, hundreds of millions of people are watching this TNPL, which is brilliant, and there are a lot of talent scouts coming down, to watch TNPL too. So it's a combination of being at the right place at the right time, performing at this level, where a lot of people are watching all around the world, in Australia, through Pakistan, through Sri Lanka, wherever it might be, England. A lot of people are watching these young players coming on now. So it's having that opportunity, which the TNPL provides to the players, but also to, performing at the top level. So then the guys that are doing well, like your Washington Sundars, are getting picked up for IPL. He might be a chance even for Indian A, like tour, coming up shortly. I think they should potentially pick him. So that's my little scoop for the day. Washington Sundar, Indian A team very shortly, and higher on is coming for him. But he got discovered in the Tamil Nadu Premier League, and that's what it's about. So 3 guys straight away have been boosted up to the IPL, and I do believe that as time goes on, we will see more players go on to play IPL and also for India.
Now, talking about the Tamil Nadu Premier League level, the way domestic players are performing here, can you give us a brief overview if you compare to some of the talents back home in Australia? Just a sense of comparison of the different challenges they may face in their respective countries, and how they come up to play at the higher levels.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is probably the Big Bash back in Australia, and we're seeing a lot of players come through now in the Australian level playing the Big Bash, which are performing very well. And the standard at the Tamil Nadu Premier League is exactly the same. You got young guys coming through, some really good talent. The fielding to me has been probably the difference from TNPL 1 and TNPL 2. It's really increased. The level of catches we've seen this year has been amazing. So that's been the difference I've seen. Definitely the fielding level, because I thought last year was good. This year it's been brilliant. We've seen some drop catches, and I've done it plenty of times. I've dropped a lot of catches, but this year it's been a lot less catches dropped, a lot less misfields. So that's been, the way that they've increased that. But also to the bowling and the batting, we've seen some amazing sixes, some terrific. It was a great 100 from Washington Sundar. We saw. Sai Kishore got 5 for last night. He bowled really well. So, guys getting 5-ers, scoring hundreds, I mean, they're ticking every single box.
Now, talking about fast bowling, you as a fast bowler, can you speak about any talent that has excited you and you've just taken notice of him and felt that, wow, he's doing something really great, and seen probably a bit of you in him?
Yeah, look, the one name that springs to mind is Trilok Nag. So I just actually had lunch with the youngster before. He was playing for the Calais boys, and unfortunately had a fractured finger, which he had surgery last week. So he would have been playing in this TNPL. He played in the first league for the Ruby Country Warriors back then, which is now the Ruby Tritchie Warriors. 17 years of age, a terrific, young, exciting fast bowler, and one that I think that will go on to play at the top level. Tall, 6'5", 6'6". Got the hunger, got the passion, and I've enjoyed keeping in contact with him. I've been a bit of a mentor to him. I've really enjoyed, what he's been doing throughout this off season. He's bowling over 135 k's per hour, so he's one name that springs to mind. Obviously, you got your Anthony Duss, bowling last night. Picked up his first wicket last night in TNPL2. Was a leading wicket taker last year. Hasn't had a lot of luck this year, but I like his pace. He's a fisherman. He comes from a family of hard workers. So he's got the right attitude, and they're two names that spring to mind straight away.
Now let's talk about India a little bit. You've been here so many times.
I love India.
And what's it that excites you about coming here? And what do you plan whenever you board the flight from Sydney and you make your way to India? What is it that you plan every single time?
Well, I always say it's organised chaos. And I mean that in the nicest way. When you come to India, there's a lot of things that happen. You could plan out the entire trip, but as we all know, and you can't see the team around me behind here, but they're all laughing, but you can actually plan the trip perfectly every single day, but it changes at the last minute. And that's what I love about India. It's the uncertainty of not knowing what's going to happen. And I like that. I like things that change at the last second. Not too much, of course, but it's different. When I'm in Australia, you can walk down the street and people might say hi and, get a photo or a selfie. The autograph is gone. The autograph is dead. Now it's selfie. We've got grandmothers 98 years of age here in India wanting a selfie, and they know how to do it. They flip the phone around and they're like getting there and they're going up so high for the selfie. I don't get the height of the selfie. But that's the level. So in Australia, it's more like relaxed. In India, when you walk off the plane, and literally when you step off the plane, you're on, and it's full on, and it's great. I love it. Whether you're at the ground, around the commentary box, we were in Chennai here last, and still in Chennai now, and working last night. You got the people behind tapping on the box. They all want a selfie. In the hotel, down the foyer, it's cool. But that shows me that the passion for cricket is so alive here in India, and they love it, and I respect that because cricket's given me a lot, India's given me a lot, and I've had some great memories and moments over here. So, I'll never come over here and think it's hard work because it's fun. I won't tell Star Sports that it's easy, but it's pretty cool.
Now, you've just spoken about the surprises that this land has to offer. We've got Matthew Hayden a couple of weeks ago smash a few sixes in Aveshti in Chennai. Can we expect something similar from you, or rather, when will you want to play at Chennai? Maybe donning Aveshti?
Well, all those people listening in from Australia, they might not know what a vesti is, and I've recently been going to the game wearing a vesti, so it's the traditional, I guess, covering over here in India, certainly down south. It's like an Indian dress, a traditional male dress, and at first I was a little bit hesitant to wear it. I didn't know how it would feel, how it would look, and I wore my jeans underneath at first. I said, no, you can't wear jeans underneath. Got to wear your underwear and just put the vesti around you. And I wore it in TNPL one or two times, but this year I've worn it to most of the games. One, because it's so hot over here, and wearing jeans or suit pants to work is very hot. But I don't recommend playing soccer or football in a vesti, and we might put up some clips later on about me attempting to play soccer because I'm hopeless at it. It's pretty hard to kick with a vesti on.
Yeah. There's been an interesting video of you trying to pronounce some of the Indian names.
Oh no.
Who do you think did better, you or Professor Dino?
I've got Dino covered easily.
Easily?
Sorry, Dino, if you're listening in, mate. It's, to me, that when you have to pronounce the names, and certainly down here, down south, around Chennai and Madurai and, down to Trincomalee, you got long names. See, Australian names are generically pretty easy to pronounce, and certainly mine, Lee. I mean, you can't stuff that up. But when you go into these longer names and they're like sometimes 23 letters long, you got to try and break it down. So I apologise if I've absolutely stuffed it up, but I had a crack at it. The third umpire was the hardest. I can't remember his name, but it was so long. It took me like a minute to get through it.
What's your favourite South Indian cuisine?
I've tried a lot of things down here. I got more of a sweet tooth, so I like the jigatunda. It's a bit like probably like an ice cream, isn't it? Like a dessert. I'm trying to explain what jigatunda is for people from Australia listening in. It's like an ice cream with like a bit of rice sort of substance in it. I don't even know what it is. I'm probably not giving it a great rap, but it tastes good and it's easy to pronounce, so jigatunda.
Now, we're just getting a few questions from the fans, and one of them from Coimbatore writes in that they missed you over there, they could not come over to see you. But will we get to see you elsewhere in Tamil Nadu?
Yeah, I'm actually in Madurai tomorrow night, so I'm at the fan park, and that's the greatest thing that the TNPL does. It actually allows you either to watch on Star Sports, go to the game and watch live, or if you can't do that for whatever reason, you can go watch to the fan park. Now, I've done one. I was meant to do one in Trichy, and unfortunately it rained. I had 1,000 people in Trichy all lined up ready to go and watch the game, and it poured down, so I couldn't go to the fan park. But I'm in Madurai tomorrow night between around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I might even do some commentary as the game starts. So pop down and see me. We'll probably put up some details of exactly where it is after we get offline. But yeah, I'll be in Madurai tomorrow night, so that's a lot of fun. And also, Salim is on the 20th. I won't be here personally, but I know that you can go down there and obviously watch the fan park there as well and interact. You might get one of the other players, like a Dean Jones or maybe a Scott Stiles will pop in.
Now, we've got more questions coming in saying, great to have you here on Facebook Live for the TNPL. Wish I could join you at the stadium. Now, what would you say to a fan who isn't able to come to the stadium?
Yeah, well, once again, if for whatever reason you can't come down to the stadium, or you can't watch on TV, get down to the fan parks and go on to at TN Premier League app, jump on at Star Sports India, hop on there. It's got all the information where the players will be, where the fan parks will be, what the games are, what the scheduling is. So jump onto those different apps and they'll be able to explain where they are. But as I said, I'll be in Madurai tomorrow night at the fan park. So yeah, looking forward to catching up with you there.
Now, of course, if you go, you'll see a lot of kids around India trying to ape your bowling action, and some of them writing in saying that, what is the essential thing to be a fast bowler, and can you tell us the secret behind your fitness? You spoke about the core, but is there something more to it that you would suggest? Because you went on to get over 300 international in one-day internationals and over 250 in tests. So can you speak about that?
Look, I think that when you start playing cricket, to me, it's almost like from the age of 9 until 16, it's pretty much ability, your natural talent. And then from the age of 16, 17 to your 40, when you hang the boots up, it becomes more of that mental game. So you need the attributes to be, an athlete. You need to have the right sort of physical body to do it. But then when you get to the age, and certainly when you start to achieve a few goals, and whether you're playing, in my case, for New South Wales, and then going to play for Australia, or you're playing for KKR, or then going on, the Big Bash, or playing for, Australia, or whatever it might be, or the Indian Premier League, it then becomes the whole mental psyche. You've got to be very, very mentally tough. But the easiest way to explain how do you become a good fast bowler, you've got to be a good runner. And I was very lucky. My mother was a sprinter. She did the 100-metre sprint. So I guess I was gifted those fast twitch fibre genes from my mum. My dad will always argue that the skill set came from him and not from mum, and they always muck around and they do it very lovingly. But yeah, I was very lucky that mum, she passed on these wonderful genes of how to run fast. And I was always an athlete. If I wasn't playing cricket, I was doing little athletics, 100-metre sprint. And I was never going to be a great 100-metre sprinter, but I was quick enough, and that really helped my bowling. So the easiest way to explain to young fast bowlers and how they want to improve on their action is don't run like you're running in through like cobwebs or try to pull. You see a lot of fast bowlers running in and they're doing this. Imagine almost the width of your phone or your iPad, and you're running in, you're keeping everything straight, so your action's really smooth, and you're running, you're not doing that. Every time you go out there, you might lose a point. You don't lose any points when you're bowling. You know, you want 10 out of 10 for your action, and it's a nice clean action going through. So be a good sprinter. If your run-up is, mine was 26.1 metres when I finished my career, and I had a theory that every year over the age of 30, I would lose a metre every year. One, I was getting older. I didn't want to run as fast and as hard. And two, I just thought that I could get that energy through the crease over 26.1 metres. Now, I started, my run-up was probably 40 metres when I first started, way outside the 30-yard circle and then running back. But my point is that if your run-up is 26.1 metres, as mine was when I finished my career, I would train at 36.1 metres. So I'd do my bowling, finish my session, and then I would mark out 36.1 metres, and I would walk to the line to 36.1 metres and sprint, and then walk back again, and then sprint. And I'd do that about 20 times after each session. So then I knew that the next game I was playing, because I've ran at 100%, 36.1 metres, when I play in the game, I'm running in at 85 to 90%. So I'm running in slower, and I'm running in at 26 metres, so all the hard work's been done, and I felt confident and comfortable knowing that I could run in all day because I've trained harder. If I ran at 20 metres and then you go into the game and you've got to go an extra 6.1 metres, you're mentally not there, you know, because you haven't trained that well. So always train harder, because when you go to the game, your emotions and your feelings should all be free. You should just not be thinking about anything. Yes, you want to work on your action, but that's when the natural juices take over. You know, your natural energy comes into play. You embrace the game, and all the hard work with your training has happened, and that then will just naturally go into your game when you're playing. So yeah, I know it's a long answer, but to break it down, you've got to be a good sprinter, good core, push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups. If that's all that you can do, if you can't get to an F45 or you can't get to a running track, push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups, that's all you need to do, and you'll be a good young fast bowler.
I'm sure that's going to help a lot of young fast bowlers
Hopefully.
out there. But talking about bowling and T20 cricket, they say has become such a batsman's game. Now, how do you prepare for such a format, and how do you outthink the batsman or read his mind?
Right, it's very important that with these batsmen, that the bowlers take over. Now, I know for a fact that it is a batsman's game, right? 2020 cricket is about leaving your ego at home. When you step into 2020 cricket, you know you're going to get hit for 4 and 6. You know that you're going to, potentially bowl a wide or two, but that's part of the game. So you accept that. You accept that that's, part of playing in this wonderful league and this format of the game. But you want to do it better than anybody else. So you train as hard as you possibly can to be a good 2020 cricketer, and then really enjoy that moment. But the way it's changed is that now the bowlers are getting a bit more back in their length. They're working on different balls to bowl. Batsmen have always had drills. Now we've rolled out Bowling Master, which is a wonderful tool that you can actually work on the length you're bowling. Now that all the TNPL players are using it, guys in the Big Bash, we've got Lords, they're all using it as well. And what it does, you roll it out, it gives you the perfect length to bowl the ball. Now, they used to guess. They put some cones down and they would guess where your length is. When you roll out Bowling Master, you're not guessing. This has been done over thousands of balls. They're putting the algorithm and you know the right length to bowl. So straight away, that's a great tool for fast bowlers. So you know what length you need to bowl with a good brand new ball. You've got to be on the cusp of the good and the full length. We're bowling wide line Yorkers now, which is what I've seen has come to help the bowlers. Slow ball bounces, because the batsmen are getting good. It is a batsman's game. They're getting down low, back in their crease, lapping you for 6, as a bowler, you have to evolve as well. And I had to, the last 2 or 3 years of my career, learn new tools. And my new tools were wide line Yorker, quick bouncer, slow ball bouncer, back of a length, the Yorker at leg stump, and putting in your fielding spots and positions where you knew that you were to go for 1 run or less. So they're little things that have helped me try to sort of change the balance or restore the balance back to the bowlers, because it is a batsman's game, and the bowlers have had nothing to work on. So now we've got different things out there. As I said, Bowling Master, we've got a different, it's a mat they can roll it and use that. They've got different tools that they can use now in order to become better bowlers.
Now moving on to your other great passion, which is singing and music. Now, you've been a fantastic singer. You've also sung songs. Now, if you had to pick one song, which is really close to your heart from India, or probably even the one which you sang with Asha Bhosle all those years ago, which would be your, say, top 3 songs?
Well, when you think about the local songs over here in India, and I had the chance to work with such an absolute legend, as you mentioned, Asha Bhosle. Asha G is an absolute legend of the industry. She's terrific. And when I wrote that song, I wrote the first part was going to be in English, which I would sing. The ending I would sing in Hindi, or try to sing in Hindi, and then she would sing her first part in Hindi, and then finish in English. And it was an ending like Hame tumhara hun tumhari hi rahunga, which is yes, I'm yours and I'm yours forever. And that was the most incredible thing to do, to work with such a legend. Back then she was, I think, 72, 73 years of age, and her voice is pure. So that's always a favourite of mine. You're the one for me. But I think, peeling it right back, the song that always reminds me of India is Muqabala. So they're all laughing behind. I'm going to turn this around in a second and show you. But Muqabala is it's like a duel or a fight. Now, whether they're fighting over, the two guys are fighting over their girl, or they're fighting over whatever it might be, but it's the challenge, it's the moment. And I heard that song back in 1994 when I first came to India, in the back of a tuk-tuk. And I took the cassette out. I think the guy charged me. I said, I want to buy it. He charged me like 500 rupees, like ripped me off big time. But I loved it, took it home, uploaded it onto my computer, put it onto a CD. And I've heard that song so many times. So every time I hear that song, whether it's at a game or you hear it on the TV, Muqabala, it always takes you back to that moment when I was back in 1994.
Now, you've been supporting kids here in India, and can you throw some light on that, the music?
Yeah, so as I said, India's been so good to me. I've had so many great memories, but you can't keep coming to your beautiful country and just keep taking in these great memories and moments without giving back. So I decided about 4 years ago that I wanted to, I guess, put my stamp on India and leave like a legacy, because it's important for me to do something that was, was giving, was putting back into the community. The easy option would have been for me to, do something to do with cricket, do something to do with the academy, but I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted to make sure that, when I was coming to India, what I wanted to do was nothing to do with cricket. So I set up music. So it's MEWSIC. It's a play on words, so it's like music with sick at the end. So we're looking after underprivileged and sick children and teaching them music therapy. So we're teamed up now with St. Jude's, which is terrific. So they're doing a lot of work at some wonderful hospitals throughout India, in particular in Mumbai. My wife and I were over here last month, and we went out to one of the places in Mumbai where St. Jude's have set up this beautiful campus in the hospital, and there's these poor little children suffering from cancer. And what they do, we've got all these teaching staff that come over. A lot of people come over from India, come over from Australia to India, and they want to learn about and actually learn different cultures and that, but they're all trained in music therapy. So they offer their services, and they go and they teach the children music therapy, play guitar, the drums, whatever it might be. So that 2 or 3 hours that happens a few times a week just takes their mind off what they're going through. You know, they're going through some really tough things and some horrible cancers that they have, but for that little 2 or 3 hours, it takes their mind off it and it makes them smile.
Now, apart from your bowling action, the other thing that kids love to imitate was your chainsaw celebration. Can you tell us how that came about? And yeah, just show it for the camera.
That's what I used to do. I feel stupid doing it, but that was what I used to do. I used to carry on when I got a wicket. And I celebrated, if I got a wicket, I celebrated like it was my last wicket ever. Because you don't know when you're taking your last wicket. And doing this or doing the big heel click, which was stupid, but it was a lot of fun. How it happened was I was just playing at my local club for Mossman. This is back in the 90s, you know, the early to mid 90s, and I was celebrating then. There was no one watching, so it wasn't for the cameras or the media. I was just so excited to take a wicket, and I just embraced it. So I started what I thought was a knockout punch, and I'm doing the knockout punch for the batsman when I got a wicket. And then someone asked me, they said, well, who are you bowling to, like a little gnome or something? Like, how big's the batsman? If you're doing a knockout punch down there, he's about 2 foot tall. So then they evolved the knockout punch to the chainsaw. So then it became the chainsaw. And then spending a lot of time over in India, now it's the rickshaw start. Starting up the rickshaw. So that's how it's evolved.
Now, obviously here with the TNPL, and there's a lot of excitement in Chennai for the return of the Chennai Super Kings. Now, your words on a few fans, the fan base of the Chennai Super Kings and the team itself.
Well, obviously, you know, with Dhoni being the face of that and being on board, it's good that they're back. I enjoyed the style of cricket which they played. You know, you think about the overseas players, Mike Hussies and your Scott Storrises, the guys that played for Chennai. Dougie Bollinger was one. So they all enjoyed their time here. It's great to see them back. Looking forward to, you know, having them all back in. Plus the local guys, you know, you've got some terrific talent on show. But that's what the IPL does. It's great. You know, whether you're back in Australia, I've been very lucky to the first 6 years I played in it, and then I've worked on it since that. And that's been a lot of fun. So you see the world-class players. When you're there for 8 weeks, or here for 8 weeks in India during the IPL, it's crazy. It's so much fun. And now that's becoming, as I said, the TNPL is now the sort of mini league of the IPL. It's the next one below. It's the breeding ground. So I've seen that excitement and buzz spill over to the TNPL. So that's great for TNPL. Great for young players to get that energy and excitement. But yeah, the IPL when it's on, it's crazy. It's very loud.
Now, in the late 90s and the 2000s, Australia was this world-beating force, and you were very much a part of it. What was the mantra of success, or the secret to success for that unit?
We had a very, very clear vision to what we wanted to do, and that was to train. Even though that we were ranked number 1 throughout that time, we wanted to train like we were number 2, and we believe that if you train like you're 2 or 3 in the world to get to number 1, then you're obviously going to train a lot harder. We knew that our competitors, whether it was South Africa, England, India, Pakistan, were all training very hard and working on their skills, but we trained harder. But the other thing too is that we didn't go through, under Steve Waugh's captaincy, we went through hardly any players for a long period of time. You know, we had pretty much the same 12, 13 players that were around the team. You know, the bowlers, the batsmen, the all-rounders were pretty much the same team the whole time. So that's important as well, is that you're not chopping and changing and losing too many players throughout that period of time.
Now, to sign off, can you tell the fans your memories of bowling to India for the first time on Test debut, Boxing Day, getting 5 wickets at the MCG, the big platform? Yeah, we've got good memories of you, but not that one. But can you please tell us a bit about it?
Look, I think when I had the pleasure, and I was very lucky to play my first Test match, going back to 1999 against India, which was incredible. And I dreamed my whole life to play in the Boxing Day Test. To me, that was like, if I play the Boxing Day Test, that's where I want to be. in front of 90 odd thousand people in Melbourne. Happened to be against India, and it happened to be against one of the world's best teams at that point in time. Now, I say every time I come to India, they always ask about this moment, and I bowled against Sachin Tendulkar for the first time in an international match. I played against him in the Prime Minister's 11 about a month before, and actually got him out, so I was like ecstatic, and my life was like complete. I got the great man out. I don't need to play Test cricket now, I've got him. But I always wanted a little bit more. And when I played against Sachin in a Test match, Melbourne, Boxing Day, 1999, I felt like literally going down with my autograph book and saying, "Can you please sign this for me? Sachin, can you sign my autograph book?" That's how I felt, because I'd watched him since he was 16 when he debuted, getting hundreds over in England, scoring runs here in India, coming out to Australia against Warney. Those types of memories, and now I'm playing. It didn't really feel right, me playing on that same oval as him, but it was wonderful, and we've become really good mates, out of playing cricket against each other. And that's the other thing too that cricket has given me, is a lot of friendships, a lot of great memories and moments, because the cricket will stop. You can't play cricket forever, and I finished at the age of 38. But what cricket does do, that finishes at a point in time, but the friendships and the memories always live on. And to me, that's more important than any FIFA or World Cup that I've won, is to have those memories and those moments and friendships throughout the world. So I'm pretty lucky I've got that.
Now to sign off, just a short message to the fans.
Thank you so much for listening in. Hopefully that was insightful. I'm getting a lot of things here on my personal Facebook. I'll try and get to them shortly. There's a lot of love messages and kisses, so love you guys back, and thank you. Look, be a better person. Every morning that you wake up, try and be better than you were the previous day. In terms of your sport, and certainly with cricket, and certainly with fast bowling, train hard. Don't go lifting heavy weights. There's a lot of different methods out there that coaches try and bulk up young fast bowlers. A lot of cardiovascular work. Light weights are okay, high repetitions, but train hard. Get your muscle memory and your bowling fitness through bowling a lot of overs. Don't be just bowling 20 balls and then walking back in. Train hard, bowl for at least an hour, work on your action, and then use those skill sets around you with your different coaching staff. But always play with a smile on your face. That's what sport's about. It's about having fun and enjoying the moment. So really appreciate you all listening in. Thank you so much for my Facebook for listening in. Thanks TNPL for obviously letting me come on your side, and also at Star Sports India as well. So we'll probably wrap it up there, guys, but we'll see you soon, and we're going to do a few answers on Twitter. So if you jump onto my Twitter handle, I'll answer some questions now. See you guys.